Will, I am really excited to have you here today. And you're creative, just like me, creative professional. You do video, you do photography, you do all kinds of really cool stuff. I'm just a really big fan of the work that you do. Like myself, I kind of started my entrepreneur journey trying to figure out how to do creative stuff and turn it into a business. And I find a lot of people try to do that. And I think a lot of people that are listening to this podcast today are going to want to figure that out. So we're going to talk about that today, which is really, really exciting. But before we get to that, can you just maybe just very quickly give our audience a brief overview of who you are and the work that you do?
Sounds great. Thank you, Odom, having me here. My name is Will Yang. People call me, okay, my name is not Will, okay? My name is Yifei, Y-I-F-E-I, right? And Yifei. And people call me Wi-Fi because there's a Y and F in it. Okay, I'm changing my name to Will, right?
Yeah, okay.
So Will, and I'm the creative director and CEO for my company called Differo Marketing, and we do a lot of content marketing, and we have a lot of clients in tourism and tech industry. I love a lot of creative stuff, and my favorite is singing. One of my favorite things in the world is to sing. My past life. And I create a lot of content, helping clients to do a lot of creative works.
Okay. Do you still sing today?
I sing.
You said past life, but
I sing every day in my shower.
Nice. So you're like
singer.
Those shower professionals or whatever, eh?
Yeah, I'm one of those. Or, on the way to meetings in my car, it's really, really good time to sing.
Does it like pump you up in a sense to get ready for those meetings?
It really does. It pumping me up on the way here too.
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
nice. When you wake up, you have like weird sound, like like a waking up voice, right? It's not very pleasant. So I crank it up and sing a song and just wake up, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I never even thought about that because we were talking about this just before that. I used to play guitar all the time, and like music has this way to like just transform you into, I don't know if it's another place or whatever, but I don't know. I feel like music is one of the most, this is really weird, like, I don't know, pure expression of creativity. I don't know. I just love it because you can just kind of get lost in it and just speak a language that, everyone cannot almost understand, right? Because it's music.
One day we'll have a group, a band, or something.
Nice. So your story is very interesting. I don't know if I have this date right. So you immigrated here to Canada is it 2015?
2015.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
2015.
Yeah, and you went to college and you started studying like creative. Was it like videography, right?
Yeah, okay. It's called Screen Arts in NSCC. I always say I'm graduate from film school.
Yeah, film school is nice. It's just great, but it is film school.
NSCC is amazing. Yeah. This community college is awesome, and I learned so much. The students, the students are great, and the teachers are awesome. Shout out to my teacher, Janet Hawkwood, if you're listening. Love you.
No, awesome. Did she like really help fuel like your creativity and just kind of like channel it into the kind of the work that you do today, I guess? Or
yeah. Janet is not a person that make you feel comfortable at all, which I really appreciate the push from her, and I think I've learned so much from that. The toughness, and because the real world is tough, I find she's nicer than the clients.
Right. Yeah. So it's like almost like getting you prepared for what's to come in the real world.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it's one of a pattern that I've seen for a lot of people that have come on the show is they talk about how when they get pushed out of their comfort zone, it helps them grow more as an entrepreneur and as a person as well.
Absolutely. And I just love, tough women in general. So yeah, Jenny's one of them. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It's amazing.
You went into doing school in the creative fields, but before then, even before you came to Canada, I heard that you were still into creative works and creative art. What kind of art was it that you were doing? Was it kind of along the singing or?
It is singing actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I grew up in a family, middle class, I would say a little bit below middle class. So I remember a few times my mom is a tough woman, right? And a few times she cried is when I think a few years ago when she's saying, I feel bad because we cannot afford a piano for you when you want to learn when you were a kid, right? So, and then, that's okay. I can sing too, right? So I sing a lot. I create in that kind of way, and I do a lot of calligraphy, the Chinese calligraphy. So I do Chinese water painting a lot.
Yeah.
So that's my childhood, and then being a good Asian child, I went to university and did what they want me to do, and I can't escape from art. So I just come back to what I'm doing.
It was like always with you.
It's always with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually have my company before I went to NSCC to learn how to properly do this. So I started having clients. It's like, okay, let me create some content for you, right? Photos and videos.
So you had clients before you went to school or during at the same time?
Before.
Right?
And I was like, I just learned myself from YouTube, right? And then I realized, I kind of suck at some things. I can't teach everything myself. So I went to school. And that was the first time I know what I want to learn. Like, do you have the feeling I know what I'm going to learn. Like, I want to learn that. So it's the first time in my life.
That was the first time, yeah. So something clicked in you that you're like, this is what was it about like videography then that made you have that moment?
I think to visualize people's story, to visualize the thing. Like sometimes I find using English, my second language, to tell a story, sometimes really restricting. Like today, like I have to pump myself up to use my second language to talk to you, because the articulation is, I can't do 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I want to say something, but like, okay, which word, right? Vocabulary, all of those. But I find, use videos or use like art form, I don't have the restriction.
Right.
I can tell you every single thing I want to tell you. And, if you cannot receive that, it's your problem.
Right. Yeah, I see. So it's almost like what I was saying earlier in terms of how music is almost that way to me. It's like you can almost convey your feelings or emotions without having to use any words. That's the same thing for video.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm so curious, right? So curious to photos too, right? Yeah, to tell a story.
That's what videos are. They're just moving photos.
Moving pictures.
Yeah, moving pictures.
Exactly. So that was a fun period of time. So and then, as you mentioned, I learned along the way how to transfer, my creativity to a business, right? How can I make a living from it? Yeah, it's a tough job.
Oh, it's very tough. We're definitely going to get into that. Before we get into that, I just want to maybe focus a little bit on what it was like for you coming from another place, coming into Canada. Did you find that being in a different place, did it help spur your creativity, or?
The reason why I come to Canada, to be honest, is to find a new life that has less restrictions. Like I have no one know me, right? Because I was like, I'm a popular singer, so I can start a new journey, right? I just want to go as far away as I can.
Yeah.
So young and so bold, and Nova Scotia is pretty much the furthest point.
Right.
Well,
it's pretty far until you start having to go right back. Eh?
Yeah, it's pretty far. So yeah, I did not know a thing. I think my brain's empty at the time.
How was your English?
My English sucks. I still find my English sucks, but like at the time it really sucks. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate my the friends I make, and the professors and people. They're so kind. They're like, yeah, you're the best. Your English is great. And I look back, it's like, oh, that's so embarrassing. But like we'll learn on the way.
Yeah. Well, absolutely.
So come here, I find, to express myself, and I discover video and photo. I took photo in China as well, mm-hmm. right? So I used to do this interesting little business. So I'm from Qingdao, like the Chinese beer. If you know, the green bottle beer. I'm from the city of Qingdao,
okay.
And I moved to another city called Hangzhou to do my university there.
Okay.
So during school time, when I go back to school, I'll find people to travel with me to another city to take photo of them traveling.
Oh, okay.
Kind of elopes things, like they take photo of you, and vice versa. When I come back to home, I'll bring some clients to my city. So it's like
interesting
photos at the time.
You still love taking photos as well too, I would imagine.
I still love photos.
Yeah.
Photography is my love. I find I have a little take on photos on single frame. People's attention spans getting shorter and shorter, and as we mentioned, video is moving pictures. When people's attention span is so short, it became one frame, which is a photo. So I think photo would never be out. Photo's always there. So Instagram will always be in business, hopefully. I don't know.
But it is really fascinating though that all of these social media platforms, they're almost like all in on video.
Yeah.
I don't know if photos gone by the wayside or whatever. Like even sites like 500 pixel and what was it, like Flickr.
Yeah.
Not as popular as they used to be. You probably remember Flickr. Like, yeah, photos. Yeah, throw it up there. It was the spot to be, right?
Yes.
Not
Flickr.
so much anymore.
Not so much anymore. You have to adapt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I guess it's a good spot to kind of talk about entrepreneurship. I think both of us, we explored a whole bunch of different jobs or different things we try to do in order to try to make a business with our creative passions. All these things that you have done have led you to, let me pronounce this correctly, Differo Marketing. What are the lessons that you've learned and all the things that you've done that have led you into the work that you're doing now and the success that you've achieved so far?
I wouldn't call it success. I mean, we're still, entrepreneurship.
Well, I mean, if you're at the point, for me anyways, you're after the point where you're doing something full time and you're not relying on a job.
Yeah, okay.
That's a success in its own.
Thank you. Okay. I would say I'm very good at shutting up and listen to other people. And when I mean I listen to other people, it's just listening. I don't have to follow what they say. And at least, I can get a different perspective, right? So learning from different people, I think, is kind of my superpower. And I'm very eager to learn. I find mentors all over the places. And my the gym I went to, the business owner of the gym, I'm so much from Dave, who owned Blended, and the pickleball. I play pickleball. The pickleball.
We should play then.
Oh, you play?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I was huge into badminton. I was pretty good at badminton, pretty competitive.
Okay.
But now pickleball is just so great.
That would be another hour for your podcast.
Yeah. It should be a pickle pod or something.
Pickle pod. I love that.
Podcasting while playing pickleball.
Yeah. Don't get me started. But the person I learned, he mentioned, I just retire, sold my business, for like blah blah. I was like, oh, interesting. Like let's chat, right? I want to learn from you.
Yeah.
So I think that's my superpower. I think that transform a lot of my life to entrepreneurship. It's learning from different people. Sometimes there's also in my culture said, if it's a different industry, there's mountains in between, right? But if it's a different industry, the wisdom or the truth is still the same. So you learn, like I learn, what I'm doing is pretty niche. What we're doing is very niche, but we don't have to just learn from the people in the same industry. We can learn from anybody.
Right.
So I'm just constantly learning, and I'm very open-minded.
Do you find your ability to listen and understand people's stories, does that help you tell better stories or be a better storyteller?
Debatable. I think being a storyteller being a good storyteller have to be so focused on what you believe and what's your vision. But when I tell a story, I have to be really like, this is my opinion, right? This is my opinion, or this is the brand I'm working on. This is the brand about, right? But learning from different people can shape me to multi-discipline, thing. Like traveling from another country to Canada also giving me that ability too, right? So I have a very different, like you as well, probably growing up and your culture. We have very different lens, or we have different lenses. Let's say that we have we have multiple lenses. We can see things in multiple ways, and I think that helped like me or my company a lot. Because some people let's say this, tourism. Okay, tourism is a really interesting topic. We have a lot of clients, in the tourism industries. I have another take. I have so many takes today. My hometown, Qingdao, is famous for tourism, right? People go there to see the German buildings, colonization, and to see the beer factory, the ocean, the coast. As a local, you don't see anything. It's like, is there anything fun here? It's really interesting, right? So when I see like Halifax, when I see even St. John, New Brunswick, let's say St. John, for example, I love that city. It is so bizarrely beautiful. The foggy harbor there, the downtown with in the evening time with the old Victorian style building, some warm light, the road light with some fog. Like that's beautiful. That's cinematic right there, right? Like the underground feel about the city. Like if you know a local, you will know which party to go. Like that is a great tourism idea for St. John, New Brunswick, right? And for locals, they may like, wow, it's just a foggy weather, right?
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
nothing fun about
we
it.
hate this, or
Yeah, that's our different lenses to see different things from if you're not local.
That's really interesting too, because I remember when we first even moved here to Halifax, and one of the first things we do, let's go see Peggy's Cove or let's go to the boardwalk, and then very quickly those things go out of mind as like, I don't even want to go there anymore. You go there, it's, there's just tourists everywhere, what have you. Then it's like, okay, now I know where I can go to these obscure beaches that nobody knows about or hardly anybody knows about, that you can kind of just enjoy things in peace and just kind of have that, I don't know, I guess more of a local experience. So yeah, I think you're right in that when you're looking at it from a tourist lens, if you're from there, it gives you just that different perspective. So it's really
locals
cool.
Can't see your own beauty. Eyes is fine.
Yeah.
Maybe some do.
Yeah, well, I guess you almost have to like really kind of force yourself to be like, because every time you go to Peggy's Cove, I'm just like, okay, the kids like to jump on the rocks, so that's fine too. But it's like, I've seen it 1,000 times, whatever. Yes. So the novelty, I guess, kind of wears off or what have you. Getting back to all the different things that you've tried in the past, can you maybe talk about some of the big challenges that you've had of trying to, be creative, trying to get business to work or trying to deal with clients?
I think one of the challenges is people don't take me seriously sometimes when I start my business. I don't know why. Maybe I look too young, too youthful looking.
Do you think that's the case though? If you really think about it.
See, when I look back, right, there might be something in my mind. There might be my problem when I think back, right? When I when it's like 10 years ago, 2015, like I look even younger back then. I have to dress older. I have to dress like, I'm a mature adult.
Yeah, you want people to show, or you want to be able to what's the word, to convey
people, okay, I'm serious business person here, like so that's one of the challenges. I overcame that, so I look back and that's my problem, like but I do find sometimes being not a local is a challenge, right? It's understandable, like I understand why. But sometimes, as a person, as an entrepreneur, you have to overcome that, right? Like, I have to say one thing. Like, I had an amazing colleague who was an exceptional salesperson. Mm-hmm. But her last name is not, you can tell her last name, right? She's not from here. And then she just can't get cold emails back. But she was exceptional salesperson. When she meet people or call people, she would get the deal done.
So she had to pass that first barrier.
Yeah. Meanwhile, another player on the team who has a really common last name, you can find locally here, get a lot of more emails back.
Interesting.
That is a challenge, right? Sometimes I have to admit, someone gonna say that. I'm gonna say that is a challenge. And that's something I'm working on to change. Sometimes I have to be exceptional to work 2 times than some people to get even noticed, which is fine.
It's interesting too, because for me, like, you look at my name, obviously it's not a Canadian name, although I was born and raised here in Canada. Like, I'm just as Canadian as anybody else,
right.
And I don't see myself as any different, because it's like, this is just my home, this is just where I was born. But I guess I don't know if this is me being naive, but I would imagine that I could have faced the same problems, as in people see my name and they're like, oh wow, this guy's not from here or whatever, so like maybe I'm just not going to deal with him. But I never even really thought about that. But I don't know if that's just like, okay, well, I just need to just bear down and just get to work, and just never even kind of crossed my mind that could be an issue. But that's really interesting. But it's funny though that you're saying that, and I could totally see that's something that you kind of almost immediately recognized, especially since you're coming here in your 20s, right? Yes. So you're going to be aware of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But there are people anywhere like that, right? I also appreciate some of my early clients, because they really just, see me as an entrepreneur and just, see our work and say, yeah, he done the work. He amazing, right? Claire Digby, she's amazing. She's just put the trust in me. And, they're Stephanie Schneer from Shopping Center. Yeah, they really, really put the trust in me. So I really appreciate that. Yeah, this is a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just have to overcome.
I think I love what you're saying there. You just have to overcome things. And not everyone's dealt like a different hand in life. Everyone has their own problems and challenges, and not everyone's the same. And I love what you're saying is that, maybe this is something that is a handicap for me, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to just do the work. I'm still going to do what I need to do in order to get to where I want to be. And I think I think it's so important to be resilient and to be able to have that drive to keep moving forward, no matter what obstacles are in your way. And if you keep pursuing that, there's going to be a time where the word of mouth and the people that know that you do a good job, it's just going to get out there,
right?
That you're going to be that guy that everyone knows. It's just going to take you a little bit longer to get there.
Yes,
so if you have the perseverance to keep going, I think you can get there. And
I
wouldn't let it stop you.
Yeah, that's well said. And that they also taught me to be more, to have more empathy to other people too. Because as you mentioned, different people have different challenges, right? I'm facing this challenge, so I have more empathy to, for example, you mentioned people with the disabilities, right? People in a different smaller groups. Yeah. So you just how to say that, to be more inclusive and just, to want to know other people's stories.
Yeah, and to be understanding. But it's true though. You got to wonder how many times you have your own biases when, we have emails that are come through our plate or whatever. It's like, I don't have time for this. I wonder if there's anything there. I'll be like, oh, you just see something and without even thinking about it, you just automatically dismiss it for whatever reason. So sometimes you have to be aware of opportunities that you might miss that maybe they can be good for you. I don't know.
Love that.
Are there any other challenges that you want to mention? There's so many people that are listening that are going to want to figure out how they can take their art or whatever and get a solid business. What other kind of things could you say, like, hey, maybe watch out for this, watch out for that?
I would say, being a creative person, you need to know that tools don't matter until they do, and don't let tools you use to restrict, you as a creative being. Like I went through a lot of rabbit holes to find the newest technologies, of cameras, lens, all of those, right? And, in conclusion, don't chase those things, right? For example, the cameras, the camera you use the most is the best camera for you.
Right.
Until, okay, it restricts me in my creative practice.
Right.
Then you find next one. Then what restricts you and what need to be replaced, right? So that's some practice, right? Guitar, as you play guitar, right? Play until okay, it's time.
You can really tell that I'm not getting the sound that I want, or I can't just do the techniques because my fretboard is just out of whack or whatever. Yeah. That's a really good point. And I'll say, when I first started podcasting, before, I've done some stuff with my wife like years ago, and I just had 2 Pixel phones. And I just put them up on tripods, and then that was our video.
That's amazing.
Like, not the greatest. It's like just what we had, a couple $100. Well, whatever the phones were, right? And
you started, from that. Right?
Started from that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine if you give you 2 like a red camera, just 2-star? You probably stopped. Goodness. You're like, oh, this is too much. I don't know how to deal with this.
That's a really good point too. Is if you go too far into the tech and thinking that the technology is going to make you a good artist, and you're just going to get overwhelmed at like all the features or whatever, and then you're just going to get bogged down. Do you ever find this? This is an interesting point here. Do you ever find when you're doing creative work that sometimes you get so busy, worked up in the tech and all the little details, that you're not actually advancing in your actual business because you're almost making yourself busy, but then you're not actually growing your business. You're just, you know what I mean?
Oh my God, that's an amazing question. I have 2 examples. One is CRM software.
Oh, okay.
I went through those. I even, went through, Salesforce, which is way, overkill for, us, a small business. And you went through a software, right? Oh, these are the clients. These are the sales funnels. I have to follow up this. The 90% of time is figure out how to use this software.
Right, yeah.
And you're so daunted by this that you don't want to use it. In the end of the day, it's just pen and paper or even like Excel sheets, right?
Yeah.
Another thing is, I said I love you have a pen and paper here. I upgrade like iPad, Apple Pencil to take notes. I hated it. I use it twice.
Right, yeah, it's an expensive couple notes.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's very certain notes. In the iPad just sitting there. Okay, that's like when I eat alone, I'm gonna put a YouTube video.
Right, yeah, it's like there's a $1,200 YouTube video player.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, yeah, I learned. Do I learn or no? Also, pickleball racket. Yeah. You're not gonna be a better pickleball player if you have a better racket.
Right.
Just I have to say that.
Yeah.
It's your skill.
Yeah. So how do you know when it's time to upgrade? Because like you were saying, I guess if you're doing videography, you're using your cameras, and then you're like, okay, I know there's certain shots I want to get or certain looks.
Yeah.
Then, your skill kind of almost catches up to your tech.
Great question. So let's say when I upgrade my lens from a cheaper one to a more advanced one, is I had a client, we have to shoot in a very dark restaurant. Do you know those moody, high-end restaurants?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They hate lights. Our clients are vampires. If they're lights, they're going to die. So they only have one little candle on the table.
Yeah, right.
So when you shoot like those things, like you don't want to destroy the vibe as well. You don't want to, lit the place or, flashlight it. So it's like, I need a bigger aperture. I need like at least 1.8 aperture.
Mm-hmm.
And I need like the camera need to be high ISO without noise, all of those techie things, right? So when you will know, like when you will know exactly what to upgrade.
Yeah.
When this scenario comes, right? Another example is editing software, right? When you edit, some visual, you need some visual effects, or the clients need this and that. Okay, this software is like the best I can do with this software, right? Yeah. So time to upgrade. Time to spend your money.
This is a little bit of an aside though for people that are very specific into video editing. I'll just give my preference is DaVinci Resolve. I'll get people, I'm like, start with that one because it's free.
Yes.
And 99.9% of all the stuff you'll ever have to do is available within the free version. And then when you get to that pro level, it's like $400 Canadian, and then you have a license for life.
I'm grateful that they do like licensing for life, right? That's
amazing. Do you use DaVinci Resolve?
I use for like color grading.
Oh, for color grading.
For
Okay.
Yes. They're they're amazing. Yeah. For like simple cuts, I use Final Pro. My personal preference. Yeah. Simple cuts, but like DaVinci, color grading.
I'm just thinking about it now. It's not something that I'm very good at, I don't think, but I love watching even videos of people that talk about color grading.
Right.
But even for me, just filming here, just a little off topic here, but I don't film in like S-Log or anything. I just no picture profile, just get the bare bones, because I know if I get sucked into it, it's like we said, I feel like I'm going to be doing busy work that's not going to advance my podcast, right? Like if I shoot an S-Log and then I start doing all this crazy color grading,
more time.
Is that going to make more people watch my podcast?
Yeah.
Like, is that going to make me a better host? Is that going to make me better at asking better questions, or going on social media and trying to promote the podcast? The answer is always no. So it's like, I can't be bothered with that. So it's like, I have to make sure that I stay focused on what's actually going to build the business. And that's a good question I'll ask you is, are there certain things that you need to do or that you try to work on in order to make sure that you're constantly moving your business forward so that you can build something that's sustainable long term, so that you can, be creative?
My challenge on that is to delegate work to people. I'm very easygoing person in life, but regarding like creative things, I'm like a control freak.
Yep. Yeah.
Like I need to be in control. I need things to be done a certain way. I think you will have another guest, Mike from Social East, Social West. He won't know. Like sometimes when I do public speaking, like my presentation needs to be do in a certain way. And that may drive people crazy, but like
I know the feeling. It's gotta be perfect. Yeah.
But every time after that, people say, "Oh, I understand why you do that," because the audience loved that little thing there. So I'm learning to let it go.
Yeah.
Because in the end of the day, it's a business, right? I'm not here myself as an artist. I'm here to represent a business, my brand, which is a business, right? So for business practice, I can't do that all my life, to be a control freak, to do things, right? Let people do their thing. I could be too easy on things, but I'm learning to find a balance there.
Yeah.
If there is a balance.
Yeah, if there is one, yeah. I think there's a balance. I think you'll find it.
Yeah.
And I think what's really good about being able to let go is that you could bring other people onto your team, and then you can train them, and they can grow with you as you grow as a business as well too. And then they can have that asset with you, long term.
I think a small business, right? We do a lot of things, but when the business grow, it's like, okay, this skill, the people, you're gonna do this part of the job, 100% better than you, maybe like 1,000% better than you. Yeah, that would be great.
Especially too, because they can focus their time on doing just that.
Absolutely.
And then that frees you up. Yeah, I think that's the transition point that I think a lot of people have a hard time with. And I do as well too, because it's taken me almost like 10 years to start getting to where I want to go. You're so focused on that creative aspect of stuff, and it's so hard to let go. And I think maybe the quicker you can make that transition from, okay, I don't have to do every single thing, and it doesn't have to be perfect the way that I do it.
Right.
I could bring somebody on so they can focus on that, and they can develop their skills, and I can focus on building an actual business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually went through that once, like from 2022 to 2023 that year. I dedicated a lot, and I failed. It's my problem. So I
you dedicated a lot of time trying to build the business.
Yes.
Okay.
And I hired a lot of people, at that time, maybe, over I can handle. Over the business can handle, a lot of full times there, and I failed. Like, you have to say, I completely failed that did not push the business forward, right? So there, I really learn, what did I do wrong, what I can do better. So I'm still in that phase.
Again, building a business, it's a whole nother skill in itself, right? Like, just because you're really good at something that's creative doesn't mean you're going to be a good business person, right? You can be the best artist ever, but if you can't build a business, you can't make money from it.
No, yeah. So, you have to learn things. That's what I mentioned, you can learn skills and things from the people not even from your industry.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
What they do, right? The pickleball player, he in the pharmacy business. And I learned so much from him. He's like, oh, one advice to you is to make the boring thing good. And I'm very bad at make boring thing good.
Right.
Like, I hate boring things. Right. I'm more, our industry have to be, not boring.
You want to be cutting edge. You want to be state of the art.
Yeah. They're like, no, is your book clean? Right? Did you do your financial thing good? Did you, can you afford this service? What's the ROI? All of those things.
Yeah.
Right. Did you ever think if you're gonna leave the business, gonna sell the business, what's left?
Is there any value there that someone's gonna want to buy? Like, what are you building?
Yeah. So those things are important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's really fascinating what you're saying about making sure the boring things are done good and that they're important. And there's one thing too that I've been starting to learn as I've been talking to lots of different people is, as you're starting out, almost just try to focus on doing one thing and getting really good at doing that one thing to the point where it's so boring and so easy. Like, it's boring for you to do it, but you can do it so good and so consistently day in and day out. And then you can go from there. And I almost kind of think of the restaurant industry. It's like, if I'm going to open up a pizza shop, I better be damn sure that I can make that same pizza taste delicious every single time. So when the customer goes back, they just know what to expect.
Yes.
And I think it's the same thing for creativity or whatever your business you're in.
Yeah.
Make sure you can do it so well that it's easy for you and the customer knows what they're going to get.
That's right. Following what you're saying, and then expand slowly. Right now, because we chat offline, I'm cutting services, right? Like, I'm just doing less things and try to focus, which is hard for me.
Yeah, it's not a stretch to say, oh, I could do the color grading. Oh, then I could do the photography. Oh, then I could do the marketing. Oh, I could do this little video for you. And then because they're very similar, but from a outside perspective, the customer looking in, it's like, what do you do? What are you going to do for me?
Yeah. Like, what's your brand, right?
Exactly.
I used to shoot a lot of weddings, and I love weddings. I love to make people. I love to be part of their big day.
Yeah.
I make friends that way.
Mm-hmm.
I really make friends that way, and I find this really fulfilling. And then it's like the clients are confused, like the tourism clients are like, what do you do? Like, you
and they might not want to work with you because they don't know. They don't know.
Or
they might not pick up the phone.
Yeah. So I'm cutting those off and doing less things, as you mentioned, doing them better and better.
What are the things that you're focusing on now?
Awesome question. Commercial time. So we're we just focus on a lot of content creation, videos and stills for the tech company and tourism industries. I love tourism. I just traveling is great. To find hidden gems are so satisfying. Like to use a different perspective to see this region, right? So working on those a lot, and the tech. I love tech. I think we have to love tech to work in this industry. Yeah. Everything's techy, and I love tech. I love AI. I love AI. I do. I use AI every day. But I think AI made what we do, the human creative work, more valuable. If people can feel that, if people can embrace that. Like right now, if I see an AI generated video on my For You page, next immediately.
You can tell, and I can tell, but can people that aren't in the video game, can they tell? And it's also going to get to the point too where you and I are not going to be able to tell either.
That's right. I think a few fooled me. The deer jumping trampoline one.
I haven't seen that.
No, yeah, no. It's so real. I think if you got fooled by AI, that's fine. We use a lot of AI on some of the process, right? AI is not new. Right?
No, of course.
20 years, 15 years ago, Photoshop, sometimes you denoise or all of those are AI stuff.
Those photography purists is like, oh, you can't do that. It's like, you're in the dark room, you're doing the same thing.
If you're
doing that, it's adjusting the exposure and doing this and that with contrast. It's the same thing as just digital.
My teacher said it, as soon as you pick up a camera, it's far from the truth. Right? It's subjective, and anything's subjective, right? So we don't have to be so on that. However, I just find, human dictated art are so valuable, and I really embrace that. If people embrace that, I'll be so happy.
Are you worried about what AI is going to do to the creative industry over the next, say, even 5 to 10 years?
I think we'll be fine. Back to the business, right? People buy things through they sell you, they market you, or the brand value. I think right now the AI generated content is hurting the brand value. I mean,
interesting. Okay.
I mean, if Louis Vuitton or Nike's, if they want to do a good campaign, they're not gonna, do an AI generated. They're gonna hire real model, real creative director, real people to do a great campaign and to present to you. And that's their brand value. And I think if that is hurt, people are not going to spend a lot of money on their product because, people buy their brand, right? I don't think people buying Nikes because they sell you directly or they're doing marketing. It's the brand value. I know Nike is Nike. Louis Vuitton is Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, it's a status symbol of what you want to project out to the world.
Yeah,
it says something about you as an
individual. Can you imagine Apple's September announcement is AI generated?
Yeah,
people are not gonna buy that.
Yeah,
so you lost your position. Yeah. So I think good creatives are fine.
Good to know. Good to hear what your thoughts are, because for me, I'm a little concerned for some things because one of the things that I did the most was web design, web development.
Right.
And that's something where I see in the next 5 to 10 years, I see that's big trouble for 95% of people, because I think the small businesses or people that are looking for a website, why would they pay someone $5,000 or $10,000 to make a website when they can go on AI and say, hey, this is what I want to do, generate me a website or whatever. And once it gets good enough, it could just spit that out. And then they're only going to pay $50, whatever. And like what we said before with tools, until you understand the game, you don't need the biggest, fanciest one. So maybe they don't need a big fancy website. So that's why I was like, okay, well, I think either I'm going to go pursue those big ticket clients that are going to be able to pay because they'll understand the value of a website and what it can do for their business.
Right.
Or I could just probably not do it because I don't think the smaller that market I think is probably going to get a lot smaller.
Right.
So that's why I decided to pivot and go away from that.
No, but I think the influence of AI is just like any other thing in the market. It's just one aspect, right? For example, COVID-19 came, things change.
Yep.
a big storm came, things change.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Things are always changing. Always.
Yeah. Politics
always
change,
evolving.
things change.
Yeah. That being said, in order to be able to do that, are there any specific types of skills that you would say that would be conducive to you being flexible and being able to weather those storms?
Yeah. So I think, shutting up and listen to other people is a very good thing to have.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Being a good listener. Yep.
Yeah, being a good listener is great. You can feel things are changing if you let people talk. You can sense that, right? You can sense from different people, different perspective, and then I would say to have different stream of income in your business, like I know I'm thinking to make things
Like
more
streamlined,
more streamlined or more focused, but like I would say at least you have a skill, one skill or two, at least two skills that can you can pivot, right?
Yeah.
And it's easier for smaller business to pivot. COVID taught us that,
Yeah.
right? Also have to be open-minded. You also have to be, I find what is really helpful to me is to be in the news, like to read the news a lot.
Try to see what's happening.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Like all Nova Scotia, Chronicle, Herald, all of those things. It's really interesting. Just see what's going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you're sensitive, you get information early. You kind of sense that too.
Yeah.
Right. And just be curious. I think curiosity is a great thing. Curiosity kills cats, but I think save humans.
Saves humans. Yeah.
Saves human a lot. Just be
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
Just be curious.
That's really good advice, because I find curiosity, at least for me, how it's important for me is like when we're doing this podcast right now, is being curious about what the other person like that I'm talking with, what they're saying, and trying to dive deep into what it is that I'm hearing through a lens of curiosity, which for me anyways, I'm hoping that allow us to have a great conversation, right? Because you can dig a little bit deeper than just the surface levels.
Absolutely. And also, if you have curiosity, that make you so, how to say that, like from other people's perspective, you're so interesting, you're so cool, this person is just great, right? Without curiosity, like, I don't think a lot of people appreciate that. It just make you a fun person.
Yeah, you don't even have to say much when you're curious, because all you're doing is really asking questions, and the other person's talking, and they're like, "Wow, this was awesome! I had a great time with this person."
Right?
But all they were listening, and they didn't even do anything. They just asked questions.
Yeah.
No.
Superpower.
Yeah, it is a superpower. Do you know? You probably know this guy, Chris Do. If you're from the future.
From the future?
Yeah. No, he's not like from the future.
From the future?
No, his company is called The Future. His big thing is learning how to ask good questions. And one of the things is it's about listening, but it's also being able to really uncover the hidden truths or the hidden pain points that a customer is having. And I wanted to ask you, because you love to listen and then you deal with clients, is there anything that you do, like when you're listening to them, when they're trying to tell you what they want, that you can use to try to figure out kind of exactly what it is they want, and then how to go about producing the deliverables that are going to, hit the targets that they're looking for?
In this industry, I find you kind of need a personality to be in this, to survive in this. It's a lot, this creative industry, right? Everybody has their opinion. What is good? What is bad? What is right? What is wrong? So there are a lot of information, right? Sometimes, you went to a meeting, a creative meeting, pre-production meeting. Some people just, they come in really hot, like blah, 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 blah. There are a lot of information there, and they want a lot of different things. And, I always think my approach is, from the result and backtrack to what we should do, right? If you spending your money to have this result and I am responsible for this, my approach is, this is a result. Right. And you mentioned so many things we could do. Of course, they're all great. There's no wrong in this industry. You can do many things. A campaign could be, anything. Right. There's a safe way. I always, give them a few options. There's a safe way, and there's the way you want with my input, and there's my way. And they can choose. Right. Okay. And to filter a lot of information, a lot of, personalities from the conversation is also just to be like a role, like AI to read this. Can you imagine, like, just say, I'm an AI now. These are the information. These are all the meeting notes. Oh my God, the personality, all of the egos in the meeting. let's just filter those. Those won't, like, yeah, just like, people here love to the office talk, right? First 1 hour of the day is like, hey, how are you as a weekend? And the weekend's great. Just filter those out, like, right? Get the main thing. Okay, person A with a huge ego loves this. Okay, noted. This is fine. Person B, super great person, a lot of, enthusiasm, wants this. It's just filter those things and know everybody's needs. There are many stakeholders. Just try to I'm a people pleaser, so it's kind of easy for me to do that, to make sure everybody's happy. And then here's a safe way. Here's your way with my notes. Here, with some risks.
Have you gotten into any kind of trouble by being a people pleaser with clients?
I over-deliver a lot. And I over-deliver a lot to a point that I start hate, like, what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to learn, okay, I don't have to do that, right? I just do what is promised and just do it good. I need to learn how to focus on the real job rather than, make sure everybody's super happy. See, I was talking to you the previous question. I'm still people pleaser mindset. I still have a lot of work, to do. But I'm changing that. I think I worry I will change too much. Like in a year or two, I became really the opposite.
You're just an asshole.
I'm just being an asshole in the end. Like, okay, the goodwill is gone.
Yeah,
this is what you made me.
But I do believe. I mean, I think it's important to try to make your clients happy, but I don't think it could be at a sacrifice to like your own happiness or your own desire to end up continuing what it is that you're doing. Because again, we're creatives. We love that art form, and if you're going to be doing things that are going to make you fall out of love with that, that's a recipe for disaster.
It is well said, and it's not sustainable too, right? If you don't, same client, if you over deliver all the time, and one time you don't over deliver, you just do what you said, they're mad.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, I thought you would this and that.
Yeah,
right. So it's not sustainable.
Yeah, I found one tip that has helped me, and I actually use this. Just I was like maybe about a month ago with a new client, where I'm the same way with you. It's like, oh, they asked for this, I'm going to give them even more because I'm going to show them how great I am or what have you. But then this one client, so we had figured out the contract, and it's like, okay, this is what you're paying. This is what I'm going to deliver. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, well, do you think, just like the day of, do you think you could take a couple extra photos or whatever? I'm like, sure. Are you okay with me sending in that $250 invoice or whatever? And then right there, you're still nice, still courteous, but letting them know that I'm not just going to do everything for free. If you want something else, it's going to cost extra. Just like, oh yeah, sure. Where do I send the invoice to?
I love that. I'm going to practice that
right
away. Thank you for that.
Oh, no problem.
And sometimes, yes, I over deliver. Sometimes, okay. I think over deliver there are two different kind. One is I offered, you didn't ask. Another thing is you ask, I said yes. So the one I offered, I think I'm good. Like, it didn't hurt me.
Right.
But the one you asked me, and because I'm a people pleaser, because I'm nice, and I said yes, those are still in my heart.
Yeah.
It's not fair for another person too, because I always find they owe me.
Yeah.
Although I give to you, but it's not fair to them when then sometimes I see them, it's like, oh, you owe me that.
It builds resentment.
Yes.
Because it wasn't a fair and agreed upon exchange of value.
Yes.
Because when you have that great transaction, I think, we do a transaction, you say thank you, I say thank you, and everyone's happy.
Right.
But when there's a mismatch from there, I think that's where that resentment comes in. But do you think some people take advantage of other people's desire to be a people pleaser? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, being an experienced people pleaser, I can sense who is who wants, to take advantage of me, who's just like, they're a small business owner, they want, a little help, and they're just ask for it, right?
Yeah. That being said, for the entrepreneurs that are listening, or the wannabe entrepreneurs that are creatives, what kind of advice would you give them as they start their journey to maybe fast track their journey so maybe they don't make the same mistakes that you made?
I think the advice I'm going to give is back to the 10 years ago me, the very young, bold little Will there, is to be bold and ask money for your service and product. Start to build a business. Like, business is just, as you mentioned, a transaction, right? I give you this, you give me money. Or I give you money, you give me your thing. Or I give you time. I give you product, you give me time or advice, right? It's a transaction.
Yep.
Start to do that. Start to find clients. You don't have to be ready to do things. Like I started my business without going to film school to make film and videos for clients until I find, okay, I need to learn more, right? We're always learning, and we're never going to be perfect for clients. And, you charge small because you're not perfect, right? Yeah, and then you go from there. Another thing is, one of my mentors said, do boring things well. Do boring things well from the beginning. Like if I go back, I would do that. Yeah, do boring things well. And also, another thing is I hate, sometimes you open TikTok or YouTube, there's some, business coaching people said, oh, you need to leave your friend group because you overgrown them and you can't talk. Like, I hate those things. Like,
like you have to hang out with the millionaires in order to get that.
And those same group of people, they always, I don't know, try to focus on young men for some reason. Anyway, you have the people around you, you're an entrepreneur, yes. From now on, you're a business person, yes. You're not better than anybody else. And the people you're going to hire, you're not going to boss you around them. You are, like anything in the life, you share time with people. It's a journey. And make sure you be nice, be kind, and, appreciate people's time and energy and do good work. Yeah, we all do shitty work sometimes, but try your best to do good work.
Dealing with clients, I think that's probably, from what I hear, the thing that people struggle with the most is, how do I get clients? Do you have any advice on that in terms of what you're doing to get clients?
Most of my clients right now are from word of mouth. Sounds like, not a lot of good advice here, but I would say focus on what you're working on and make sure every client you have is your champion and they can cheer for you. They can find more business for you, right? Where we are here is small. It's a very small market compared to bigger regions. And my business, I have, fewer clients, right? But one project is kind of, big. I have to finish this in like a few months or like something like that. I don't need like many. And so it's also not a direct to consumers, right? So from like a service-based scenario, like what I'm doing, I would say just make every client happy. Oh my God, sorry. Start people pleasing again.
But you do have to make your clients happy, or else you're not going to get work.
Make them happy and make sure they're going to cheer for you. Am I good for this client to find more clients for me? So that's my requirement for myself.
So how would one go about figuring that out for themselves, right? Like, how do I make my work so good that client is going to go out and be my champion?
I would say communication is really important. Always ask, when you present yourself, don't present like an asshole or present super cold that you're not, gonna, it's hard to be reached out. Present yourself as a person that people can tell you things, right? To be a good listener. And, and then people some clients I really appreciate this. Well, this is the last project I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Because you really, messed this up about a timeline or, you did this. And I really appreciate those things.
Yeah. That's a good point too, is making sure that you're sticking to your timelines, especially when you're doing creative stuff. Because I'm sure a lot of people can get into their head of, it needs to be perfect, or I need to do more of this. And then your deadline can slip. It doesn't look good on you, I guess, as a business owner or what have you, that's trying to make their mark for themselves, to not be able to deliver the things that you say that you're going to deliver.
Yeah, there are unlimited things you could do better, but it's a business, and clients need things on time. It's really important. And take care of yourself. I always say creatives we burn our soul to create things. We literally burn our soul to create this little thing. So be nice to yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Treat yourself very well. It's entrepreneurship is another thing in your life. Just it's not everything.
Yeah. Greg Dobson, he was here last week, and he said something really fascinating where he said, don't be afraid to ask people. And what I'm hearing from you is communication skills are really, really important. And if you're trying to get yourself out there, I don't think it's a bad thing to go to ask them, especially after you've done a job and delivered a job. Say like, hey, how did you like my service? Is there anybody that you know that would be that you'd be willing to introduce me to that might need my services? So it's like putting yourself out there and to ask. And if you did a good job, I would almost bet that like 90% of people be like, oh yeah, let me think about it, or let me see who might need my services. Because if you don't ask, maybe people don't even think about it.
That's right. I think I need to do that better. I need to ask more like that. So thank you very much for that. I think I'm very bad at that because
it's hard.
I'm thinking like, oh, is this gonna bother them? They're busy. But like, I think you're right. Like if you don't ask why they, people are busy. If you don't ask, they're gonna move on and not gonna help you. But I think people really appreciate your asking. Like people really appreciate, they play a role in your life. If you ask them, like I should ask client to do that. But like I ask people to mentor me a lot, right? So yes, I should transfer that skill to ask for client to, find more clients for us. I think 10 out of 10 of the people I ask give me advice as a friend or a mentor. They say yes, 10 out of 10. Like there's nobody say, well, yeah, no.
Yeah.
They're like, really? Like I have something. Yeah. Of course, if right.
For
so
sure.
I'm going to meet one of my mentors right after this.
Okay. Yeah.
So we just just chat.
Just
sometimes
chit-chat.
just to chat. Like not every time I need wisdom or things, just
Right.
just another friend in life.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just really great to surround yourself with like-minded people that are trying to do good in business or what have you. And then the connections that you make through that, I think that just helps grow your network. And
Yes.
your network I think it's really, really important because as you said, a lot of stuff just comes in word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So the more mouths that you have on your side, I guess, the better, right? That sounded a little bit too weird, but
yeah, we're going to click some mouths.
Okay, so I want to get into branding and like kind of building brands and actually telling stories. So how important is it for businesses to tell good stories, and what are things that they can do that you're seeing there that they need to do in order to tell better stories?
So I believe I believe there's so much. I need to write it down, frame, and put on my bed. I believe being different is being better than anybody else. I think if like you choose your own competitor, right? I was in the rabbit hole I need to be competitive. These are the brands I have to, over. In the end of the day, no. When I get, a little bit mature and no. Like, just do your own thing. Like, you just being different than them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can choose your competitor, but you can also be very different, and competition is really irrelevant, right? So, I do that a lot. I like, just be myself. Like, I don't like, if something is too mainstream, I don't like it. Just personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to be the same. I always visualize there's a little light switch in everybody's mind, and when they make a decision to purchase something, right? You have to tickle the little switch, and if the switch is on, they purchase the things, right? So when people want to do some research or buy something, let's say buy a phone, right? They think, I have Google, I have Apple, I have this and that. And if you watch a commercial of Apple telling, iPhone saved a person from a car crash because they have a function that can detect sudden drops. It saves some life. It's, a beautiful commercial. that will turn some people on. They will turn this little switch, tick on. They're gonna buy an iPhone. But probably every single phone manufacturer has a function.
Right.
Did you tell the story or not? Did you tell a story good or not? It's really important, right? So that's come back to competition. Like you do the same thing, but you're different. Your brand is really different than others. You have to tell people why yours are different, right? Apple does this so well. Like every time they market their Apple Watch, they're not gonna focus on the tech stuff. They just a biker turn the just put it on in a rainy day, went out and just bike. Make you feel okay. This is the story of the biker. If you purchase my product, you're gonna be just like that.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it's really important. And I used to do a lot of things, and I still do a lot of things. But I want to introduce this concept to people who are not very familiar with. It's called through line for creatives.
Through line. Okay.
Through line. Yeah. So a lot of creatives, like we do a lot of things. I for example, myself, I sing, I draw, I do calligraphy, photography, videography, storyteller, this, and public speaking. Like I overwhelm every day. It's like, okay. And my clients are overwhelmed. Like, who are you? Like, I can't, messy, so messy, until I find, okay, there's a thing called through line. You should find a line, like an invisible line that describe everything you do.
Right.
And make it so consistent, right? And, for example, me, like, Will, when you think of Will, it's always fun to be with. It's always curious and do a lot of visual stuff, right? So find a line, right? So, a lot of creatives like, oh, yes, I do this sometimes. And then I can't find, clients. So I do other things, right? But, if you have a through line, you're still you. Like people can remember your brand, right? So it's really like, let's say another example. Let's say the singer Lady Gaga, right? She's a singer, performer, fashion things, and makeup, owner as well, right?
Right.
So her through line is, when we think of Lady Gaga, we know, right? It's very fashionable, very edgy, right? Inclusivity, all of those things, right? Everything she does is followed that thing, and it has to be invisible too. You cannot advertise your through line. It's very subtle, and being subtle is really a magical thing, to do things subtly. I start to embrace, like, do things subtly. It feels rich. It feels like when a brand can do things subtly, it's really good branding. Yeah. And storytelling is another thing. Is when you have a brand, you have to let people know, right? You have to tell your story. You have, like, everybody is a storyteller. When you open your mouth and when you present yourself, it's a storytelling, right? The way you dress, the way you talk is storytelling. People receive the information from how you present to the world. So storytelling is the mental connection between your brand and your audience, right?
Yeah.
And it's a great way to tickle that little switch, right?
So for somebody that is new to the whole content creation game, where they're like, okay, I have this, I'm really good at this creative stuff, but maybe I'm not good at video, and I need to start putting myself out on social media.
Right.
So you're talking about a through line here. Would advice you would give would be like, figure out what this through line is of the stuff that you do, and just figure out a way of how to put that in the videos that you're making, that you're posting on social media. Like, how can they take some action, I guess, and from what you're saying here?
Yeah. For example, if you're a painter, let's say if you're a painter, you don't know how to create videos, right? And you start to find your through line, right? For example, if you paint, you always have, like, you always dress colorful as well, right? You have to look back to yourself, or like ask your friends or families, who am I? Right? Tell me, like, who I am, right? They will give you some information, and then you're gonna use this to present, to tell a story. Like, okay, I guess my brand is this and that, right? And I do this, and use smartphone to capture that. You don't you know you don't need a camera.
Don't need anything
You
fancy.
really don't need a camera if you don't know how to operate it. Phone is great. If you don't know how to use a phone to record a video, someone in your life can do that, can help you. You start somewhere, right? Or you start from photos. Start from, take a photo of what you do, right?
Mhm.
Behind the scenes things. We need to document, in the end of the day, it's document yourself and
Even
your
just
brand.
documenting what it is you're doing and just
Yeah.
trying to always just kind of make sure that you're putting your own voice in there from the
Yes.
things that you've analyzed. That's your through line
That's my
in a
through line.
sense.
Yeah, and I might be a full-time mom, and I travel a lot. I have kids, but I do a lot of content with, maybe I knit a lot, right?
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
that's who you are.
And that's how, and that's how you can come across, as what you're saying earlier, of just being different, because there's only one of you.
There's only one of you, because the through line is really unique. Everyone's through line is so different.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe we are very alike. Like, we even play pickleball too.
Yeah.
But when we think of through lines, we are
Yeah.
kind of very
We'll see the
different
differences
too.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Creative process. I want to ask you about the creative process, and just maybe
Sure.
what is your creative process like when you're going about to create something for a client? And are there any repeatable steps or advice that you can give, for other creatives or newer creatives?
I love, trendy things. Trendy is a good word, also a bad word, because trendy is not timeless, right? However, in the content creation world, in the commercial world, clients also love trendy things as well, right?
You can use it to get a little bit of a competitive edge.
Yeah. And algorithm.
Yeah.
Right. It's trendy. It's based on trend.
Got to play the game sometimes.
Yeah. I know what is trendy, and I have always taken notes, and I always organize my inspirations, and I can present 10 different campaign ideas to a client right away, because they are in my brain and they are on my phone, they are on my notebook. I have full of ideas there. And
is it like a mood board kind of thing that you create?
Yeah, it's like a mood board, or it's a screenshot of something I saw on the phone, or it's a video I really like because the typography is beautiful, and I categorize it and I organize it. That is, I know when I want to find it, I can find it.
Can I just ask you, interject real quick? Sorry.
Yeah.
But what tool do you use to do all that categorization?
I just have 3 systems. One's video, one's photo, and one's notes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So videos is I realize, okay, I can just, save to my YouTube save and categorize there.
Like a playlist.
And a little place there.
Yeah.
And for TikTok, it's right there. I find if I have to copy paste the link to my Notion, it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is too much. So I have like the video like that, and photos, screenshots. I love screenshots so fast. Catcha. And then, I'll put them in different album on my phone.
Okay.
And for notes, I use Apple Notes a lot. And I do use my, handwritten, paper and pen for.
It's tough sometimes. You don't have you don't have a nice search functionality.
It's not searchable
with your notepads or whatever.
Although I love it, but for brainstorm, I love that a lot.
Yeah.
So that system is everything's searchable. You know where to find them fast. And Milanote is another thing I use. Is when I have a system. For example, okay, here's the font I really love from a video. I screenshot it only for the font, and there is a color grade from a YouTube video I saved. And then there's one day I found an idea. Oh, if I put that color and that font with what kind of story and visuals together, it could be a good idea for some tourism campaigns. It's just like a sudden thing. I think of that. I will sit down and put them to a Milanote board.
Right.
Yeah, a mood board. And then those are kind of, okay, you are my idea pool.
Right. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are now organized and ready to be sold.
Yeah.
If someone love it. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And and then the creative process is I always start before I have the client. Like I craft this before I have a buyer. It's like a painter. I'm like a painter. Like I start to do things, get things together I don't know if one day this idea going to be sold. And yes, sometimes I create a little camping idea, and after 2 years, no one buying it. It's looking old. It's looking not trendy. And then I'll do some changes on that.
Okay. And I guess that helps that you're focusing on this like a single, like a vertical, right? Like tourism, right? So that you can kind of have that base going, and then someone says, oh, I want to promote this.
Yeah.
Boom, you kind of have those assets kind of ready to go.
Yeah.
But if you had all kinds of different things, then it's almost impossible to create something that someone's going to want to buy.
Yes. Remember the St. John tourism campaign idea I had?
With the fog and
Yeah, that's ready. Like it's in my pool, like what kind of font, what kind of, color, what kind of weather, and what kind of lens we're going to shoot, what kind of model, do what things. It's already done.
Right.
Yeah. If St. John tourism, if you want, I can present to you, but it's all done. Here. It's right here.
Do you then go out to different places, just even on your own, and say like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to take my camera and I'm going to start filming things to get, ideas or what have you, or to start doing that pre-production almost and things. Do you do that then? Is that part of your process?
So I have 2 camera systems. One is, professional gear, right? Just like the setup here. Another one is just another system is just my phone and a little Fuji camera. So those are when I travel, when I go downtown, when I go to another, a little trail, I bring those little things. Those are the inspirational thing. Like those are my love, right? And the professional gear, I have a love and hate. Sometimes like, oh, I don't want to see you. Like I know you're super capable. I just remind me of work.
Too much for me right now.
Too much. And this is my little love, and those things are really. Like help me a lot. Like I love my phone. Like my phone, little camera. I think if I can only choose one camera in the rest of my life, it's gonna be my phone.
Really? Eh? Wow.
It has ton of photos of my cat.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
And do you know some like the cat? Like sometimes when my cat yawn, it's like 1 second. It's like maybe 2 seconds big yawn.
Yeah.
I want to capture that moment.
Right.
And the only camera I can do that is my phone.
Right. You're not going to take one of these things. No. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah.
No, it's like those shots.
Yeah.
Right. Those shots. I love it. It's so inspirational. Like, to have something that you can document and look back is so inspirational. I find, I really appreciate I have, the technology give me the chance to be fast.
Yeah.
To capture some moment.
Is there anything that you could suggest to people to make sure that they still keep that love of their craft alive and not just get bogged down, like you said, in the business and the work of it?
Right. I would say keep the distance from it when you can. Like, don't you burning your soul, right, from the thing. If you're a painter, you burn your soul with this brush.
Right.
Yeah. And, sometimes it's okay to be who you are as a person, not just an artist. You're also a friend, right? You're also, a family member. So do those things. Yeah. Right. Keep away from, things. You keep a good distance. Arm length is great. And sometimes you want to focus on, clients. Yeah. Grab your camera, grab the things you do. But I think I overdone it. Yeah. So I have PTSD from all the professional things. My laptop, my office, even my home office, I rarely stay in it. I find I just stay in the room that I love to do 90% of the work. Like the beautiful monitor, like only if I can edit like the heavy work. Yeah. Not gonna go there.
Right. Because it's like color calibrated and everything. Or
oh my God. Yeah. I just find, the sleepless nights gonna haunt me, and I want to escape from that. And
right.
It's another thing, work, people say work smarter, not just work hard.
Work smarter, not harder.
Not harder. Like I used to hate that. I was like I like how to tell me
how do you do it?
Like I and we talk about the challenges here, like I faced personally. I need to work
hard.
I need to really work hard just to let people to notice me first. So right now it's like, okay, I paid all of those. Right now I can enjoy a little bit.
Pay the dues, yeah.
I overpaid too much, so I have PTSD from that.
I think there's a balance. Like there's different seasons that people go on in their life and throughout their entrepreneurial journey. And I think there's there's going to be times when you do have to just work hard.
Right.
Like, and you just can't get by. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows who you do, or your skills are not good enough.
Right.
You're just going to have to work hard to get good. And that's okay. But then there's times too when you can slow down and be like, okay, well now I could work smarter because I have the skills, but maybe now I don't have the clients. So it's not about doing more work. It's about, who do I target specifically? Who can I ask for help? Who can I ask for referrals?
Right.
How can I do the smart things that are going to give me the returns that I need?
Yeah.
So there's those seasons, I think.
Do you think, can I ask you?
Yeah, of course.
Do you believe there's a work-life balance as an entrepreneur?
It's not black and white where everyone has work-life balance. And I think a lot of people that say, oh, everyone just needs to have work-life balance. I think a lot of those people are the ones that are already successful and that have already spent the 5 years working 16-hour days to create something that will then allow them to have that work-life balance. So I think it's dependent on your goals, on what you want to achieve, and on where you are in your life. Because if you're just a person that likes to just draw a little bit and you get a commission every now and then and you're happy with that, then by all means, don't try to create this really big industry or this big business that's around your art.
Right.
Just have fun where you are at that stage in your life. But if you want to build something big that's going to make you millions of dollars, because whatever, that's the reason, you want the money, that's fine. I want to make a lot of money too. I understand that. But just know that you're probably going to have to make certain sacrifices at a certain point in time to get to where you want to be. And then you can have a better balance, because like you said, you can bring on other people slowly as you grow and you learn, and then you can have more of a work-life balance. But so it's I don't think there's a black and white answer to that question.
I really love what you just said. I think I'm the type that you mentioned. I paid my dues first. Yeah. I think I overpaid, and right now I can chill a little bit. And
that's the learning process. I mean, we all kind of have to go through those things.
That makes sense. Well, we just, the life is a balance.
Well, that's true. And it depends on the person. Some people they love working 16 hours, and when I was younger I had no problems doing that. But now I'm older. Like,
what changed? What changed, do you think?
A few things changed. Definitely having children and getting to the point where, not that they're more work the older you get, but there's just a more of a priority of spending the time that I can with them while I still can, because once they're going to go out and get out of the house, hopefully at some point, then the time is gone. So it's like, I want to make sure I can spend the time with the kids that I want to.
So your priorities
can change. Yeah. But there's also the realities of sometimes you need money. And my situation, I think, is a little bit different, because I'm the only one that works. My wife stays home and she takes care of the kids, and she takes care of the house and the family, which is fantastic. But it means that all the responsibility of making money is 100% on me. And it's been like that for a long time. So there's been times where I've had to work really, really hard and really long nights to be able to bring in the money and the income.
Okay,
so, but I've also done that because I knew that when I get to a season that I am at now, that I don't have to go 120% every single day for forever, because you can burn out that way. And I have done that before.
Okay. So, wow. Burnout.
Yeah. No, it's
Burning
not,
Man.
It's not fun. Well, it's just like you're saying, you get to the point where you everything, like, you don't want to pick up your camera anymore. Right. You're like, I can't deal with it anymore. Yeah. Even though you love it, or maybe you don't love it as much anymore. Right. So it's
sustainability is the king.
Exactly. We're in it for the long game. I'm sure you are as well too. It's like, you want to create your company that's going to be able to sustain you for years and years to come. Right. And like you said, you can build it to the point where you have the systems in place, and then 10 years, if you want to sell it and someone else is going to buy it for whatever amount of money, then fantastic. And then you can move on to the next stage of your life.
Different goals, and people are so different. Everybody's, situation is really different.
Yeah. About content creation.
Right.
And I think it's, a lot of people have a lot of trouble with this, but can you maybe say what the common misconceptions that people have when it comes to creating content?
The biggest one is, I'm not a good videographer.
Right.
I'm not good at videos. I was like, okay, I can make a video really good. So if I'm going to create a content, if that's the logic, I can only teach people how to create more videos. But no, I think the ability to create good videos it's just method. It's just one method. You can do that, right? So I think if I have all the time and money in the world, and I'm going to be a content creator, I'm gonna do singing content or like even lifestyle fashion content. I'm not gonna teach you how to make a good video.
Right.
So the ability to make good video I have, is not a plus compared to you. I didn't, so if you don't know how to create videos, that's fine, because you know what is just anything else you can learn from it. You can learn from making it, right? So don't let that stop you. And people are like, oh wow, you must have a good following. You must have a big channel about being a content. No, I don't. Like I just do client work. I don't have that. Yeah. Right. So if you're not very good at making videos, totally fine.
Yep.
Start small. Start from your phone, just like what you did. And another thing is videos are more important than audios is a misconception. I find audios are really important. I think people can bear bad videos but cannot bear bad audios.
100%. Like when you're putting a video, make sure that it has good audio with it. Yeah.
Yes, it's really important, right? People can, sometimes when we call it authentic content, you kind of intentionally make it the visuals bad.
Yeah.
Right. But look at those, creators who have those content. Their audio is super good.
Yeah.
They, there's really sharp audio there, right? It's, everything is intentional.
Yeah, it's intentional to make it look as if it was unintentional.
Yes. That's the game.
Yeah.
We had clients said, okay, we're going to create content. We're paying you to create content that looks like self-made by phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There was this behind the scenes. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, I think it was like an iPhone. Look at this professional movie or whatever you do with an iPhone. And there was the behind the scenes stuff. And they have it like on a gimbal and all these lights or whatever. I'm like,
the crane.
Crane. Regular people don't have this. I get what you could do with an iPhone, but come on.
I think that's iPhone.
Not,
that's funny. iPhone. Yeah. Also, if you really want to, do photography or videography, start, in your skills. Lighting is really important. This studio you look here is well lit, right? There are at least like 6 lights here. 6 lights, right? So invest those things. It's really important. Like a camera, I think with your setup, a phone camera looks sharp, look great, right? And invest good audios first. Some mics for small content creators.
They don't even have to cost that much. Like $30 or whatever gets you a lav mic. Yep.
Yeah, and also don't think other people's opinion. Like
don't listen to us.
don't listen to us. But like, your friends or your family, like, YouTuber, like people have stigma on that. Like, don't even care about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's, I survive from Asian relatives, from all different kind of judgment. So you can survive too.
Yeah.
They're pretty harsh. So don't even, don't live other people's expectation. Like, and don't be afraid to fail. Like, I admit, I fail many things, right? Don't admit that. Don't be afraid of failing. I think that's the fast way to grow.
Yeah.
To learn.
Just fail as fast as you can. A lot of people say that where they talk about, we just want to be able to, what's the word? It's not iterate, but I can't remember what it is. But anyways, it's just fail as fast as you can, like run experiments. So let's see what happens and let's get that feedback as fast as possible. Can it shorten that learn, fail, repeat loop? Yeah. The shorter you can get it, then the faster it is you're gonna learn and hopefully grow from there.
Yeah, I think after school, what we're gonna learn from? Yeah, just from normal conversation, everyday living, and I think the real, like big ones are failure.
Yeah,
you're gonna learn.
From what you're saying, just get out the phone and start making videos. If you do that and like say, just spend 50 minutes, whatever, do a little video, and then post it. And then see what happens. And then you can get some feedback. And then you can go the next day. And then the next day. And you can keep going as quickly as possible to get those feedback. Because a lot of people like, oh, well, I need to spend 2 days, 3 days getting a script. And then whatever. I got to find the perfect location. And then maybe 1 week they have a video. It's like, okay, maybe I'll wait 2 weeks to do the next one. How long? Like if you did it every day.
Yes.
learn so much faster.
That's like, pick up professional camera, go to Banff to travel. Same thing.
Yeah.
Like if the workflow is long, you're not going to do it. And right? And also if right now you have no followings or small following, that's the best way to start.
Yeah.
No one going to judge you. Nobody
exactly.
can see it. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's fine, right? So
Exactly.
practice that.
Yeah. It's a good sandbox to be fearless
Yeah.
and to not worry about disappointing your fans or what any of that junk.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep
Yeah.
going.
Just keep going.
Awesome. Will, fantastic conversation. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you wanna mention?
Yeah, it's been great talking to you. I learned so much. I learned so much from you. I find you're a really open-minded person.
Likewise.
No, you were, you know what? I think you were like, those nail salon girlies. Like, you have so much information because people come here to talk, right? So you must have a lot of information, which make a person great because, you're passively open-minded because you have to. Because you're talking to different people with different mindset, but that's awesome. I would say the only thing, if you can take away only thing the audience, if only valuable things you want to take away, I think just be authentic and be different. Try to be that, and be a kind person, and don't think you are overgrown to anybody. Like entrepreneurship is just another thing, living life, right? Yeah, it's part of the life, and it's the same as employment. I find they're so similar.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, your boss is your client.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and be kind to yourself.
Yeah, we are burning our souls to create things, so we have to treat us well. Yeah, and do boring things well. From my wise mentor, Ricky. Thank you, Ricky, and thank you, Odom.
Well said. Thank you very much, Will. Appreciate it. And good luck with everything. I'm going to be watching what you're doing very, very closely. And it's an absolute pleasure talking with you today.
Let's play pickleball together.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Absolutely.